My brother raised me after our parents passed away. Then, he had an affair with my fiancée, and now they're getting married. He wants me to be his best man. I'm 28, and I never thought I would be writing this. My brother, Billy, is 32, and he was always my role model when I was growing up. Our parents died in a car accident when I was 15 and he was 19. It was a rainy night. They were returning from their anniversary dinner when a truck hit their car. Billy was in college at the time, but he dropped out right away to take care of me. He worked 3 jobs: at a warehouse during the day, at a restaurant in the evening, and as a security guard on weekends. He somehow finished his degree through night classes while also making sure I graduated high school and got into college. Life wasn't easy, but Billy never let me feel the loss of our parents too much. He attended all my school events, taught me how to drive, helped with college applications, and even managed to save enough money to help with my tuition. When I had my first heartbreak in college, he drove 4 hours just to be there for me. That's the kind of brother he was, or at least I thought he was. Billy met Tessa, who was 31, during his last year of college while working at the restaurant. She was a regular customer who always tipped well. They started dating and got married 6 years ago. Tessa was perfect for Billy, kind, supportive, and understanding. She knew about our situation and never complained when Billy spent money on my education instead of their wedding. They had a small ceremony, but it was beautiful. I met Kylie, 27, 3 years ago at the tech company where I work. She was a new project manager, and we clicked right away. She was smart, funny, and seemed to care about my interests. Billy was excited when I told him about her, and he and Tessa would invite us to dinner almost every weekend. Kylie and Tessa became close friends, or so I thought. Looking back, I should have noticed how Kylie always seemed more interested in Billy's stories than mine, or how she laughed a little too hard at his jokes. Billy was the first person I told when I decided to propose to Kylie. He helped me pick out the ring and suggested the perfect location: the rooftop restaurant where our parents had their first date. Kylie said yes, and for a while, everything was perfect. We set the date for December and started planning. Billy and Tessa were going to be our best man and maid of honor. 2 months ago, everything fell apart. I came home early from work because I had a migraine and heard Kylie's voice coming from our home office. She was on a video call. I was about to announce my presence when I heard Billy's voice. What I heard next made my blood run cold. Kylie was crying, saying they needed to tell me the truth before the wedding. Billy was trying to calm her down, saying they would figure something out. They talked about how they had been seeing each other for over a year and how they couldn't help falling in love. Kylie said she felt guilty every time she kissed me, knowing she was in love with my brother. Billy said he hated lying to Tessa, but he couldn't imagine his life without Kylie. I stood there for almost 20 minutes, recording parts of their conversation on my phone. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost dropped it. I heard them make plans to meet at their usual hotel the next day. They even talked about times they had been together during family vacations and after weekend dinners. They even discussed the night I proposed to Kylie. I left the house quietly and checked into a hotel for 3 days. I ignored calls and messages from everyone. Kylie kept texting, saying she was worried, and Billy left voicemails asking if I was okay. The irony made me sick. Finally, I sent the recording to Tessa. She deserved to know the truth about the man she was married to. Everything exploded after that. Tessa confronted Billy and kicked him out. Kylie showed up at my hotel crying, saying she never meant to hurt me, that it just happened. Billy tried to explain, saying it started as innocent flirting, but grew into something more. He actually had the nerve to say that at least they were being honest before the wedding. The worst part came last week. I received a wedding invitation from them. They're getting married next month, barely 3 months after Billy's divorce was finalized. The invitation said they hoped I could find it in my heart to be happy for them, and that Billy wanted me to be his best man, since I'm his only family. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I sent back a long email. I reminded Billy of everything he did for me growing up, how he had been my hero, and how he had destroyed that image forever. I told him that the brother I knew died in that hotel room with Kylie. The man who was marrying my ex-fiancée is a stranger to me. Our extended family is divided. Our Aunt Helen, who helped us after our parents died, says I should forgive Billy since he sacrificed so much for me growing up. Our cousins think what he did is unforgivable. Some relatives tried to arrange a meeting between us, but I refused. Tessa and I have been meeting sometimes. We're both trying to process this betrayal. She's planning to move to a different city. And honestly, I might do the same. I can't stay here, where everything reminds me of them. Every restaurant, every street corner holds memories that are now tainted. Billy left me a voicemail from a different number yesterday. He said Kylie had feelings for him since they first met, but didn't want to hurt me. He said they tried to fight it but couldn't. He ended by saying he still loves me and hopes I'll come to terms with it eventually, but I blocked that number as well. I refuse to be a part of their wedding or their lives. Sometimes I lie awake, wondering if I'm being too harsh, if one mistake should completely overshadow everything Billy did for me while I was growing up. But then I remember how they schemed and deceived me, how they must have mocked me during all the times we were together, and I know I can never forgive them. Things have become even more chaotic since my last post. Billy and Kylie have started sharing their side of the story, portraying themselves as star-crossed lovers who couldn't resist falling for each other. They've been calling me unreasonable and dramatic for not accepting their relationship. Kylie's parents, who I have been close to and who often invited me to family dinners, called me last week. They told me I should be happy for Billy and Kylie, claiming that they had found true love and that everything happens for a reason. Billy even got our former high school teacher, who had supported us a lot after our parents' death, to call me. She tried to remind me of how much Billy had sacrificed for me, how he gave up his youth to raise me, how he used to skip meals to ensure I had enough to eat, and how he attended every parent-teacher meeting. She said love is complicated, and sometimes we can't control who we fall for. I hung up in the middle of the conversation. Kylie's sister messaged me on Facebook, saying that Kylie had been crying every night because I wouldn't answer her calls. Apparently, Kylie missed her best friend, Tessa, and her former future brother-in-law, me. The audacity of these people is unbelievable. They betray us and then act like we're the ones being unreasonable. But here's where things take a surprising turn. Tessa reached out to me yesterday with some shocking news. After moving out, she started going through old emails and computer files. She found emails between Billy and Kylie from over 2 years ago, not just 1.5 years like they initially claimed. They had been planning this betrayal for months. The emails were well thought out and calculated. They discussed how and when to break things off with us, how to handle the fallout, and even how to spin the story to make themselves appear better. One of the emails even mentioned waiting until after Billy's big business deal was finalized because Tessa's father was a key investor. Billy had been working on a development project worth millions, and Tessa's father's investment was crucial. In one email, Kylie even admitted how guilty she felt planning her wedding with me while being in love with Billy. She described how difficult it was to pretend to be Tessa's friend while having an affair with her husband. Billy replied, saying they just needed to hang on a little longer until the business deal was completed. Tessa sent copies of these emails to both families. Kylie's parents called me again, but this time, they were horrified and apologetic. They had no idea their daughter could be so manipulative. Billy's business deal collapsed immediately after Tessa's father withdrew his investment the day he saw the emails. The project is now on hold indefinitely. Our mutual friends told me that Billy and Kylie are still going ahead with their wedding plans, but they had to change venues. The original venue canceled on them after the owner, who is friends with Tessa's family, found out about the situation. Many guests have canceled, including Kylie's cousin, who was supposed to be her bridesmaid but refused to participate. Billy tried to reach me through our cousin Mark. He said he knows he messed up, but he still loves me and wants me in his life. Mark also let something slip that made me even angrier. Apparently, Billy had told Kylie all about my past relationships, including personal things I had confided in him. He used that information to help Kylie get close to me in the first place. I remembered how Kylie always seemed to know exactly what to say and do to make me feel special. She knew about my trust issues, stemming from my first girlfriend cheating on me in college, and she knew about my fear of abandonment after losing our parents. She used all that information to gain my trust, all while sleeping with my brother. The more I uncover, the more I realize how deep this betrayal runs. They didn't just cheat on us. They manipulated and planned everything. Every dinner together, every family vacation, every heartfelt conversation was just part of their scheme. They were probably laughing at how naive Tessa and I were. Kylie's former best friend reached out to me today. She apologized for keeping their secret, saying that she had caught them kissing at a party 6 months ago, but they convinced her not to tell anyone. They said they were going to end things with Tessa and me the right way, but just needed more time. She said she feels guilty for not warning us sooner. Billy and Kylie are now claiming that, despite everything that happened, they are happy together, and that's what matters. They're asking everyone to respect their happiness and attend their wedding next month. They even started a wedding registry. The nerve of these people, asking for gifts after everything they've done. I blocked everyone who tries to defend them. I don't need individuals in my life who consider this kind of betrayal acceptable just because love is complicated. Tessa and I are both exploring job opportunities in different cities, seeking a fresh start away from all this chaos and these toxic people who believe we should just forgive and forget. A lot has happened in the past month. The most significant news is that Tessa discovered she's pregnant. She found out 3 weeks ago but took several tests to confirm it. She's keeping the baby but doesn't want Billy involved at all. However, Billy learned about it through a mutual friend who saw Tessa at the obstetrician's office. Now, he's trying to fight for custody. Billy immediately contacted his lawyer about his parental rights, claiming that despite everything that transpired between us, he deserves to be in his child's life. He sent Tessa a lengthy email, apologizing for his failures as a husband, but expressing his desire to be a good father. Tessa showed me the email, and he actually had the audacity to suggest that the baby could be the bridge to repairing our family. Tessa is stressed by the entire situation, especially worrying about Billy getting custody. If he does, it means dealing with both him and Kylie for the next 18 years. She's particularly concerned about Kylie trying to play stepmom to her child. Kylie has already been posting on Facebook about her excitement to become a stepmom, even though nothing has been decided yet. I've been helping Tessa with lawyer recommendations and offering moral support. My college friend, who specializes in family law, is representing Tessa. He mentioned that while the affair itself may not heavily affect custody, the calculated nature of the betrayal and the emails could help our case. They demonstrate a pattern of dishonesty that could be relevant. Billy and Kylie got married last week in a small ceremony at Kylie's parents' beach house, with only their close friends and Kylie's family attending. Most of our extended family has sided with Tessa and me after seeing those emails. Even Aunt Helen, who initially defended Billy, refused to attend after learning how long they'd been planning this. What angered me more was discovering through our cousin Mark that Billy had used some of our parents' inheritance money to buy Kylie's engagement ring. This money was meant for me, part of my college fund that Billy had said he needed for emergencies back then. When confronted, Billy said he would pay me back, but claimed that our parents would have wanted him to be happy. He even tried to justify using my inheritance, arguing that our parents would have approved of his marriage to Kylie. The entire situation has been exhausting. Every time I think it can't get worse, something else happens. Kylie has been telling people that Tessa's pregnancy is just a tactic to gain sympathy and turn people against them. She even suggested that Tessa may have gotten pregnant intentionally to trap Billy before he could leave her. I've decided to move to the same city where Tessa is planning to relocate. We've become close through all this mess, and it will be comforting to have someone who understands what we've gone through. Some people have started rumors that Tessa and I are dating, which is absurd. We're just two people who were betrayed by those we trusted most. Billy continues to send messages through different numbers, insisting on being involved in the baby's life. He claims he knows he made mistakes, but doesn't want his child to grow up without a father like we did. Tessa, however, is firm in not wanting him involved. She says she'd rather raise the baby alone than deal with Billy and Kylie's drama for the next 18 years. Kylie has apparently been buying baby items and posting about it on social media, tagging Tessa in posts about co-parenting and blended families. Tessa had to block her on everything. She's due in 6 months, and all this stress isn't good for either her or the baby. On top of everything else, I learned that Billy and Kylie have been telling people that Tessa and I are just bitter and trying to punish them for finding happiness. They're portraying themselves as victims, acting as if we're unreasonable for not accepting their love story. It's revolting how they've twisted everything around. Tessa gave birth to a healthy baby boy last week, a 7-pound bundle of joy. Billy tried to show up at the hospital, claiming he had a right to meet his son, but security kept him out as Tessa had warned them in advance. Kylie then posted a long rant on Facebook, accusing Tessa of being cruel for keeping a father from his child. She even wrote that they were being denied their parental rights and that Tessa was using the baby as a weapon. The custody battle has been fierce. Billy hired a high-priced lawyer and is pushing for weekend visitation rights, arguing that despite what happened between him and Tessa, he has a right to be in his son's life. His lawyer is attempting to portray Tessa as vengeful and uncooperative, saying she's prioritizing her personal feelings over what's best for the child. However, Tessa's lawyer has been pushing back hard, using the emails that show the calculating nature of Billy and Kylie's affair to highlight their questionable character. The judge seems particularly interested in the emails where they discuss waiting to reveal the affair until after Billy's business deal was finished, showing they valued money over honesty. I moved to the new city 3 months ago and found a great job at a tech startup. Tessa and I live in the same apartment complex, making it easier for me to help with the baby. She's doing much better now, focusing on her son and her new job as a marketing director. Being away from our old city has been healing for both of us. Billy and Kylie showed up unannounced at my apartment last weekend. They drove 6 hours just to try to talk to me. Kylie was crying, saying she missed her friend Tessa and wished things could be different. Billy kept saying that having a nephew made him realize the importance of family. I slammed the door in their faces. Billy left a letter saying he regretted how everything happened but not his love for Kylie. He wrote about how our parents taught us to forgive and how he hoped his son wouldn't grow up thinking his father abandoned him. The letter went straight into the trash. Our extended family has adapted to the situation. They don't invite Billy and Kylie to events if Tessa or I will be there. Some still try to convince me to forgive Billy, claiming that blood is thicker than water, but I don't need toxic blood in my life. I started dating again last month and met someone nice at work, though I'm taking things very slowly. Tessa is completely focused on her baby, and we both laugh at the rumors about us dating. We're just good friends who understand each other's pain. Her son is the only connection I'll ever have to Billy, and I'm okay with being the baby's uncle without acknowledging his father. The custody hearing is next month. Whatever happens, Tessa and I will face it together. Sometimes the family you choose is better than the family you're born into. Billy might have raised me after our parents died, but he also taught me that not all heroes stay heroes, and that's a lesson I won't forget. Kylie still posts about their son on social media, talking about the nursery they prepared and how they can't wait to be a happy family. Tessa's lawyer is using these posts as evidence of their disregard for boundaries. The judge seems sympathetic to Tessa's position, especially considering how they handled the affair. I finally found peace with my decision to cut Billy out of my life. Some people say I'm being too harsh, that families should forgive each other, but they didn't experience this betrayal. Sometimes cutting toxic people out is the only way to heal, even if those people are family.